big episode 100. Probably not going to talk too much about it because we aren't doing anything special. We'll save that for a few weeks from now. But this away stretch is not going to plan. It feels kind of hard to celebrate and feel good about episode 100 when we're 2 games deep into this and we're 2 losses deep at this point.
Yeah, no, I think this is exactly why we put so much emphasis on the home stretch that we had and getting as much out of it as we could, because we know that we're much better at home than we are on the road. We were road dogs a couple of years ago, not any longer. It seems. I don't know. This team I think we're just looking stale right now. I wasn't mad at the lineup decisions. I thought that they were necessary. I thought it was big moves, but then Tallis comes on and the team looks a lot better when he does. So I don't know. I don't know the solution.
I feel like, so coming into the 4 games, I think we said a best case scenario would be if we leave with 7 points, and now we're through 2 and have 0. So that is obviously unattainable at this point. And now I think if we're just focusing on MLS, obviously things are going to get really tough with the back-to-back midweeks. I think it's like 4 games over the course of 10, 12 days, something like that. And obviously I think there's a lot of emotion behind a lot of those games. You obviously have the Red Bulls. We've had our scrappy fights with Orlando as well. And then obviously Cincinnati on the midweek in the Open Cup. I think we're going to probably have a conversation about what it means and kind of what our thoughts are on going for it potentially. But with this Charlotte game, it's just I feel like we should have known. We should have known that Charlotte is a tough place to go. Obviously, we traveled down to the Charlotte game last year, and it was.
Do you remember overweight
Baker
nightmare. Mayfield?
Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare there. Obviously, I think their attendance is obviously pretty out of this world.
Well, just the culture there in general around soccer is amazing, and despite their fans not really being too intelligent, I think the environment and the culture that they've built over there is really, really cool. And it was really fun to be there for it last year. But yeah, it wasn't fun to watch our team lose then, and it definitely wasn't fun to watch our team lose this week.
I would have much rather saw this loss, though. I think you said.
Yeah, for sure.
We drove
14 hours for 3 less goals.
For less goals, same result.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and probably the craziest part of it too is I saw somebody tweeted, I think it was maybe Chris Campbell or the outfield or something like that. Out of the 14 goals that we've conceded this season, 50% of them have been offset pieces.
Yep.
We obviously have the 2 in this game. Kind of unlucky for Richie to get the own goal there. I'm not sure what else you're really meant to do. He's just trying to get ahead on it. But the other one on the corner with Capetti for his brace, just completely unmarked. I mean, he's outside of the box sprinting in, and nobody even sniffs him. I have no clue how something like that happens.
Yeah, and it's something we've been talking about all season and praising Thiago Martins for not only being healthy and in the lineup for 100% of the games, but playing his mind out. Just playing probably the best that he's played in his career with NYCFC, and this week was just not that.
Yeah.
It looked like he, I don't know, was feeling all of the minutes that he's played, or just wasn't mentally checked in. Maybe the flight took something out of him. I don't know what it was. As far as Richie on the set piece, you don't really want to blame him, but at the same time, when you're young and kind of carrying a team a little bit, you probably have that like superheroism in you, where you're just like, I gotta get a touch on everything, or I've got to be involved in everything. And I probably chalk that up to the reason why that goes the way that it did. So I don't know. And as far as Enzo, I mean, I kind of shot us in the back there with my preseason predictions.
Yeah.
With him being my Golden Boot winner, I think.
I think that's what you said. Yeah.
And or best signing or something like that. He's definitely a guy that I wanted in the off season, and I was sad to see that we didn't end up getting him, and for him to hurt us like he did just hurts even more.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we even kind of started the conversation last week about Thiago too, because if I remember correctly, against Toronto, it kind of felt like he was a step behind too. But I think maybe the massive part of it too is Chanot getting rotated out. Obviously, throws the whole defense, the whole team out of whack, especially when the person that you're going to sub in as a replacement for him is Sands. Because
Right.
now, I mean, this is like the third or fourth time this season where we've talked about when Sands is not in that holding defensive mid role, the team's not going to look good. Like things are not going to go well for us, and this is just like another prime example of that. Um, Obviously, I think he has the experience to be in that center back role. He obviously did it for the Rangers for a very long time. Even in the real Champions League. But just when it comes, I guess, to personnel for us, obviously it was a misplacement in terms of, I don't know, him moving there. I thought instead that maybe Tavon should have been a center back. I didn't really understand Alenich necessarily getting a rest. I know we have a lot of games coming up, but the kid's also like 19 and has an engine like anybody on the team does. So it was tough to see, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it was something that we kind of half wished for with Alfredo coming in. And when you wish for something like that, you kind of forget that there's limited spots in the midfield, and things are going to have to move. And the next logical step is, if Alfredo's going to play, then Sands has to be on the field, and if he can't be in the midfield, then he's going to have to be in defense.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it was, I don't know, it was just addition by subtraction that didn't really work out. And yeah, I don't know, that it puts into question Alfredo's place in the team and how much the chemistry between Keaton and Sands really helps the team.
Yeah.
And kind of supports us. And I'm a big Alfredo guy, but I think that injury just kind of it derailed his season for sure, because it's tough to look at that game and think, I need Alfredo in the team. With this team will thrive without him. And yeah, I think it's just a bummer for him.
And it's like a position too where it's the man in front of you. It's too good, regardless of how good you are. It's just, Sands is obviously a step ahead of him. He's younger, and he has the armband too. I mean, it's kind of like Tavon and Alenich, and Cushing gets screwed too, trying to make the play to rest Alenich, and then Tavon goes down in like the first 10 minutes. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with Tavon.
It's sad. It's sad because he's got so much potential, and obviously we love the guy. Like, we love the personality, and we love what he could be, and we all see what he could be. But when your body doesn't agree with you, it wins. It wins every time. It's undefeated in this game, and if you can't stay healthy, you can't really demand a spot on the field.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got, Alenich behind you, who's potentially going to be a world-class right back someday.
Like, newcomer of the year at the moment, for me personally.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Like, just the involvement, and we obviously have rose-tinted glasses because we watch him every week, but what he's brought to this team is literally, I would say, like Tinnerholm in his prime-esque energy. I think Tinnerholm had the luxury of having like a Maxi and like a Tati to make some of those assists. All these superstars that are finishing his assists and doing all these things to help play off and make him look better. But I think if you like plug Alenich into a team like that, I don't think there would be a loss of quality from like a prime Tinnerholm. So yeah, I guess newcomer of the year for me. But it's just, I think it's going to be interesting going into this stretch because obviously Cushing wanted to get some legs rest for him, and with Tavon out, obviously we're probably going to see Turnbull get called on. I only have to assume, why else do you sign into that contract? And there's literally nobody else available. So
I wonder if Nick's idea was not necessarily to give a rest, but just to have a more defensive look in general, which Tavon can offer. I just when Alenich is in the game and he's linking up with people, he has that extra little bit of soccer IQ and being able to play fast and play those triangles and play quickly, like we want to do. Yeah. And he definitely scares defenders, whereas I don't think Tavon really does.
Hmm.
So he just offers so much more. And as of right now, he's able to stay healthy, which is the biggest thing. Um, you know, I you can be the best right back in the world if you play 7 games. It's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it's just a bummer.
And when it comes to like lineup changes too, we briefly touched on Tales, but I think that was a pretty big. I mean, Tales and Chanel really. I think that was a pretty big move from Cushing. I'm not. I think a lot of fans are convinced that it definitely had something to do with the altercation last week.
Probably. I mean, with it being both, you'd assume.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I think it was perfect timing that Cushing kind of has the out of like Tales has been in a slump. Chanel is 30 whatever, and we have 4 games over the next few weeks, and there's more important games than Charlotte away. But it was kind of a bad storm of events, I feel like. And Tales being out, personally, I do think we looked better when he came in, but only slightly. I mean, at the end of the day, he wasn't necessarily a part of a goal or of any kind of play that was really promising that is kind of jumping out to me. And I didn't like when he first came in, not knowing what he was going to add, that he did come in at half. I felt like that was a little bit too early. It felt kind of like a cop-out. If you were trying to drive home kind of what we saw with GP, I think you have to keep him out longer. And I don't think Tales has done enough to be like, yeah, if Cushing is panicking at halftime, that he's like, Tales is going to come in and 100% save us. I would have thought, maybe you could let everybody else kind of cook, let Jason cook. I didn't think Jason was terrible. He wasn't.
It didn't really offer much.
Yeah, he wasn't doing bad and he wasn't doing great, which both kind of sucks. But I'm not sure if the message, in my mind, would have gotten across to Tales based on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I might be mistaken. Did he have the pass that led to the foul that gave us the pen?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He did.
So
he
that's
played into Kufre. That's true.
I think that somewhat of a contribution in a way. Not to really glaze him. It was nothing really crazy.
Santi passed it to Tales.
Right. So, but yeah, I just. But do you think he necessarily needed to have a goal or an assist to justify in your head that, he got the message across that he can't flip people off,
Well, not even that he can't. That's what I think. So I don't personally. I'm coming from the camp that the benchings had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Because in my mind we've been talking. This is episode 2 or 3 where like Tales needs to be off the field as a starter.
Right.
That's it. End of conversation. And I'm not sure, based on what we saw when he came in, that the point got across that was a sitting based on his performance. And especially with the altercation, like he probably, regardless of what Cushing told him, if Cushing's like, you need a rest and we want to get you back in form or whatever, there's still probably something in the back of both Chanel and Tales' mind, like, oh yeah, like I just fought on the field on national TV. That definitely has something to do with the substitution. So right. I'm worried even to Tales it wouldn't have gotten the right idea in his mind that, performance-wise, like things need to turn around if you want to be starting for this team.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know. The decision for Chanel is kind of weird to me. Like I understand, you don't want to single one person out when it's behavior related.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't feel that Chanel had bad behavior.
Yeah,
and I said that last week, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Tales not only was wasting the time, but then also he was the one who had the outburst of not just taking the criticism and moving on, of flipping somebody off.
Further, yeah.
So, I don't know. I think if he really did pull both people for that altercation, and Chanel was benched for that, that's a little bit weird to me. But you can't change it now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that there's much to write home else about the Charlotte game. I mean, it was kind of a wash across the board. I think Santi obviously had a beautiful penalty. I don't think there's a keeper in the league that's going to save that. So good on him. I'm glad we're not standing up another random keeper in the league and getting them some kind of European transfer. Because I remember after our game at Charlotte, people then started having conversations about Kalina, and it was just We came on the pod. We were having trouble after that away trip, trying to remember what the dude's name even
And
was.
they were chanting it.
Yeah, we were in
He's
the
a
section.
he's a big guy out there.
Yeah, he's
Or was. I don't know. Who even knows?
Yeah, so I'm glad Santi was able to get that done, and then I think looking at the Open Cup, I don't know. I guess where do you stand on it? I mean, is this something that we should be going for? I vaguely remember when we saw Ronnie roll out kind of weaker lineups, maybe we weren't happy about it, but I don't know. What's your thought?
My thought is always, if there's a trophy out there to get, go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're a club who hasn't won something yet. There's a piece of silverware that you don't have in your cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
You should be 100% trying for that, no matter what. You don't need, a full team to necessarily be going after things, but you want to, field a solid team. You don't want to field all kids, or 80% kids. In this case, you probably, try an Alfredo and a Sands instead of Keaton. Give Keaton a rest or something, or you start Seagal for a full game, things like that. But you're not. You're not playing. In years past, you're not playing a Gloucester, right? You're not playing.
Not playing NYCFC too.
Right. You're not bringing up the kid who scored a bike again in the derby, right, to come play this game.
12-year-old.
So, I would like us to be competitive. I would like us to go and win this game. I'd like, for some of the core players to be involved in a win, just for the confidence. I'll probably be catching the second half or later of this game from a plane, but I want to win. I want to win all these games for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing I definitely do want to call out is, I think maybe the biggest part of the U.S. Open Cup, not to diminish it, is getting that Champions League berth is crazy. That's one of two ways I think that we as an MLS club have the opportunity to do that. And in my opinion, the MLS Cup is a way, way harder way to get your berth than doing it in the Open Cup. So I think always going for it is definitely my kind of vibe with it. It just comes at such a bad time with scheduling. Next to the Red Bulls, obviously there's so much that goes into the emotions, and when it's a derby, it's much bigger than just a random Week 12 regular season game. So I think Cushing will probably feel a little bit of pressure to make something happen against the Red Bulls, and because of that might sacrifice the quality that we see for the Open Cup, although I'd prefer that not be the case. I think we'll probably see Chanot. I don't know why you rest him at Charlotte if you're not going to play him against Cincinnati. And then that was kind of my thought with like Alenich too. I don't know why, now that, although it's botched because Tavon got hurt, I don't know why you sit Alenich if you're not going to play him Cincinnati, Red Bulls, Orlando, and then maybe, but then how do you not play him against Philly? You got to find rest for the kid somewhere. I just hope it's not a team of NYCFC 2 kids, because Ronnie, I think, made it pretty apparent when he was here that he did not care. He did not care about the Open Cup. I think we won our first round game with him, and then we had a derby in the Open Cup, and even with the level of notoriety that comes with not only it being the Open Cup, but then against the Red Bulls as well, he still rolled out like NYCFC 2 kids. He brought in kind of the the Maxis and the Tatis late, but it wasn't enough. So, and one thing, I have to call this out: Orlando making rings for the Open Cup is so Mickey Mouse. That is like the silliest thing I've ever. I could not believe it when I saw it. It is cool though that they made them fully gold. I know like our championships rings were silver. I'm not sure I've seen like gold championship before.
Is
the trophy is?
Yeah.
I think okay. That makes more sense. I thought it was just because Orlando is like purple and gold or whatever. But I guess that'd
be
more
dope
sense.
to have like a baby blue ring.
Yeah.
For our next chip.
But the gold rings was cool, but the doing it for the Open Cup is a little Mickey Mouse.
But at the end of the day,
I don't think that's ever happened before.
Probably not. I don't. But if the player, like, that's the thing I always talk about it. It's like, the cup matters as much as the players and the teams playing in it care about it.
Mm-hmm.
If people care about it and they're playing hard and they're trying, then it matters.
Yeah.
A U.S. Open Cup is something to go and win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to me it's that CONCACAF berth. That to me is like the pinnacle now. Like, I know we've gotten our MLS Cup, and I would die to get another one. But if we could win CONCACAF like that, that's kind of what I have like my dream set on for us.
Do you know about the U.S. Open Cup gate with MLS?
No.
How they refuse to credit, I think it's Rockdale. They won it a few years ago, and they like put up a list of the winners, and they just left that year out. And they just showed all of the MLS winners.
Well, I saw it.
And then Sacramento, I think, was a runner-up, and they were in the final. And
against Orlando.
They just only talked about Orlando.
That's crazy. I saw a thing the other day where the commissioner, Garber, was trashing them.
Dude.
He was like, I can't remember what he said, because I'm not sure if they're going to be on Apple TV or not, but he was, I think they're not, actually. And somebody asked him why they're not going to be. And he's like, the broadcast quality is just trash. Like, we can't have that, like, alongside our team and our leagues.
I don't know what it is.
Damn, that's crazy.
MLS really does not give anything about any other U.S. league.
Yeah.
Like, U.S. Open Cup is literally to put on for other leagues and show that there's talent there, and
well,
they do not care.
I was gonna say, to be fair, if you're the MLS, like, you're taking the opportunity to just shit on those other leagues. Like, every chance you get.
Literally, like,
because they're your only competition.
Somebody says they were like, "Oh, MLS and their racing history again." Like,
yeah,
crazy.
So I don't know. I think it's gonna, we kind of get screwed too, because it's gonna be away at Cincinnati. They could probably play a bunch of FC Cincinnati 2 or whatever their, MLS Next Pro team is called, and it'll be more likely just because they're at home. I think they also have a bit of a slouchy schedule afterwards. Montreal has been, really not good. I don't know. I guess I don't have high hopes, but I am kind of from the camp where, but same as you, if there's a trophy on the line, we should be going for it. So I think Cushing should feel that way, because this is he obviously wants to prove himself, not only to City Football Group but also to the fans.
Right.
Where reviews are, kind of mixed, I think we pretty openly support him on here when it makes sense to, but cross board's pretty mixed. So I think he might have that chip on his shoulder where he wants to prove himself. He seems like that kind of guy too. Like, he wants to prove himself, and he really has belief in the team and himself. So
I'm cushing in. I know Davi is he's cushioning
calling
out
for his job on Twitter today.
But dude, this is a rough little run we have here, and not a lot of stamina to go around. And to the front offices, they drop the ball, and we have no depth. So
that's the biggest.
Whatever happens, and that's on the FO.
Yeah. And it sucks too, because I think this would have been a good run. In my opinion, I've been like in the Johnny Dennis camp. I think the dude was the Golden Boot front runner for at least a little bit of the MLS Next Pro last season for NYCFC 2. I don't think he ended up winning it, and then this season, he's been doing pretty well. I think he just scored this past weekend, but then in the same game, he had some kind of knee injury. I don't think we know what it is yet, but I felt for sure like this Open Cup game was gonna be like the Dennis, maybe not a breakout, but like a proper
at least bring
showing.
him up.
Yeah, something to show it. So that obviously really sucks. I wonder if we see like Maximo or something. That would be pretty entertaining, and we're gonna tune in either way. But that would
we'll
add
probably
some
see
storylines.
somebody, some debut.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure. I think Turnbull probably plays, because you got to start getting those legs going.
Turnbull starting actually gets me pretty hyped up.
Turnbull starting, in my opinion, Chanot will probably start. Ronnie.
Oh, but you know what I was thinking? I meant to say this at some point. Those two losses, and not only taking the L's, but them being kind of embarrassing. You don't want to lose to those teams. I think we're gonna steamroll the Red Bulls. Like, it's just in me. It's in my blood. Like, I feel genuinely like we're gonna really roll them up and smoke.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, I'm worried.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel really good about that.
You are at the same time. I don't want to screw your whole mind up right now, but you're the leader of the like when a manager gets fired, the players are
No,
gonna be
but I
dogs,
know.
like, and they're gonna be dogs, and they're gonna show out. Um, and that's typically how it goes. Usually, you know,
Not
you
this
have
time.
these things like revenge games and all
No,
these different
there's a
things.
lot of things going into this, so it's like,
Maybe it's too much emotion. I don't know.
um, their manager got fired. We're coming off two uh losses in a row.
Hmm.
It's a perfect match for there to be a lot of energy. So I think it's gonna take a lot out of us. But dude, I could see like Turnbull coming in and just scoring a screamer or something, like something so out of the ordinary,
Yeah, just
something that's
cement
not
him,
regular at all.
set him as a that would that would lock him in as a legend to me. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm personally worried because I don't know those like post managers, those first couple
I
round of
know.
games. It gets hairy. The players want to
Who are
show.
they playing? Do they have a midweek?
They definitely must, right? They got um. Oh, that's results. They got DC. So DC tomorrow in the Open Cup, and then they got us. So they'll have an extra day of rest.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow what they look like with this new manager. Maybe DC gets the brunt of that new manager little funk, and we get what the Red Bulls actually offer, which is nothing.
Yeah, and the
And
thing
turn
with the
'em
Red
out.
Bulls too, I think they're last place in the East. And yeah, Strooper getting fired, obviously. A little bit
Huge
long
W
overdue.
for us.
Long overdue. Although I have to say,
Why wouldn't they just fire him during the racism stuff?
yeah. Well, here's the thing about that is they came out and said that had nothing to do with their decision, because if it did, then they would have fired him immediately. So it's like, all right, you guys are just pieces of shit. You were just like,
Yeah, but so they're like, we're okay with him
we're okay with racism and
not
supporting it.
acting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Red Bulls, you guys are
They are
weird.
freak.
I guess your fans are cool for not supporting it, but your front office is weird.
Yeah, that's a bizarre decision to, you know, be
To have- and then
to be complicit, to say the least.
Yeah.
But you know that game will be interesting. I think was our last one was Tati's second to last game. I think he scored a brace. I think we both.
He went from 4 to then a game winner, and then I think he scored again.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I mean our last derby. Was
Oh,
last season. I think it was Tati's second to last game. I think he scored a brace, but I also believe that was the game. Well, it always kicks off a little bit, doesn't it? But I think it kicked off pretty majorly in that might have been the one with Yearwood when he was trying to,
oh,
before he kicked a ball and nailed
that
some fan
was
in the face.
hilarious. He chirped us, didn't he?
He didn't play, and then he didn't
He
get the
chir-
start. I don't think he got subbed in, and then
Well, no. So those
He
were
was
like
talking shit on
different years.
Twitter.
Like that was a year before. A year before, Yearwood chirped us on Twitter
no, you're right.
about something stupid. We were like just talking crap about the Red Bulls.
We might have just lost.
Yeah,
a
we
derby or
were
something.
talking, and then he like tweeted at us something stupid.
Yeah.
And then the next year he goes and kicks a ball and hits somebody in the face.
Yeah, and loses the derby, by
And
the way.
loses the derby.
Yeah, so
In his like
bunch of
sixth
scumbags over
appearance
there.
since he tweeted us.
Yeah.
Loser.
Bunch I think that was really close to Charlotte, because I remember us being on like the beach, Carolina
Yeah.
Beach or whatever, and like talking about Yearwood, and
Yeah.
being like, what a loser, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that was around the time when he kicked the ball, into
Yeah.
his own fan. So bunch of scumbags over there. Not, I guess only the fans are redeemable at this point.
I
At
guess,
the moment.
and really,
at the moment.
and only that we know of the supporter section.
Although I'm sure Twitter's gonna get toxic on the weekend.
Oh, for sure.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we come out of Cincinnati with a W. It's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see who we play. Interesting to see who they play.
Who do you think like the shock start's gonna be?
Chanel's gonna start 100%. I'll if I could like bet that, I would bet so much money. I think he was the only starter that Ronnie started
What if you had to bet like to score?
to score. I don't even know who's gonna play. I don't even know.
Just throw out.
Tales, I don't know. I see. I guess
Seagal.
a Seagal breakout game. Hey, I would support it because he kind of came in and looked good
Or
and then got iced out a little bit.
Jason, first homegrown.
Jason, I mean, those boys know how to play with NYCFC two players.
Honestly, we might see old Hacky boy.
If Hack plays, I don't know if we have the power to guarantee this, but if Hack plays, like, we're gonna get him on the podcast.
Sure.
I don't know if we have that power, but we'll institute whatever power we do have to try to make it happen for you guys. Maybe that'll be our 100. This is 100, but maybe our belated 100th celebration if we can.
Editor just bleeps that whole thing out.
Yeah.
All you hear is.
Yeah. We're doing the thing where we promise something big and then.
I mean,
we were smart with Rocha at least though. We didn't say shit to nobody.
No, but it almost got leaked because of an appearance on Discord.
Yeah.
It almost got leaked.
Yeah. So that'll probably do it for 100. Nothing too special, but hopefully we have something coming in the future. Big run of games. I think
up to something season.
Up to something for sure.
Is a next level.
Yeah. The conversation you guys heard about last episode where we said something could completely fall apart. It turned out the conversation, like, the other party was pitching our wildest dreams to us.
Yeah.
Which was weird. So we'll see what comes of it. Something towards the end of the season. We can't say too much about it. So, stay posted on that. And
Crazy.
And keep your Twitter fingers warm because it's going to be a rough couple of weeks between Red Bulls and then Philly at home is obviously going to get a little overwhelming probably because
start getting your cardio in.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, you guys need cardio.
So, at Post90Pod, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Anywhere you get a podcast.
And anywhere you get a podcast. Audio only, boys. Sorry, we're probably not always the best for audio only. We were just like, scrolling through a website here and just umming and ahhing our way through it. So, appreciate y'all for listening.
There's another one.
There's another one, and we'll catch you maybe after, unless something crazy happens in Cincy. You probably won't hear from us until after the Derby. We battled with the idea of trying to boost the episode count and give you guys 4 episodes in 2 weeks, but guy's going on vacation. Guys gotta see his family. So
guys gotta hop on a metal tube and hope he gets there.
Yeah. So that'll do it.
Anyone here just heard my fingers crack, so we'll see you guys
after
at 101.
Of
episode
what?
101.
Episode 101. Yep.
Yeah.
Peace.